The sharp click of a microphone turning on echoed through the probate courtroom just as my cousin stood and announced that I had never deserved a cent of our grandfather's estate. A few people gasped, most simply stared. My cousin, Rebecca Lawson, smiled as if she had already won. I remained seated. My name is Nathan Cole, and I'm a certified estate appraiser, specializing in disputed inheritances and hidden assets. My entire career revolves around proving ownership when everyone else believes the paperwork tells the whole story. Rebecca pointed toward me. He's only here because he wants money. Grandpa knew exactly what kind of person he was. The judge looked uncomfortable. My parents looked ashamed. Rebecca looked triumphant. But there was one thing she didn't know. 3 weeks earlier, I had called her lawyer before she ever thought to call mine. But I'm getting ahead of myself. To understand how we got here, I need to take you back 9 months. My life was predictable. I liked it that way. Every morning I woke at 5:45, brewed coffee, reviewed valuation reports, and spent hours examining property records, ownership histories, and estate inventories. Most people found it boring. I found it peaceful. Assets told stories. Paper trails revealed truth, and unlike people, records rarely lied. Growing up, I had always been the quiet one in the family. Rebecca was the opposite. Loud, charming, confident. The kind of person who could walk into a room and instantly become the center of attention. Our relatives adored her, my grandparents included. At least, that's what everyone believed. When Rebecca failed out of her first university program, the family blamed stress. When I earned professional certifications and worked 60-hour weeks, nobody mentioned it. When Rebecca borrowed $22,000 from relatives for a boutique business that never opened, people called her ambitious. When I declined a family vacation because of work deadlines, they called me antisocial. The pattern repeated for years. Rebecca received excuses. I received expectations. Then things got worse. The first incident happened at my grandmother's 80th birthday party. Rebecca took credit for organizing the entire event despite the fact that I had paid nearly $6,000 toward the venue and catering. Nobody corrected her. I stayed silent. The second incident came 2 years later. Our grandfather loaned Rebecca $48,000 to help purchase a condominium. She promised repayment. It never happened. Instead, she posted photos from luxury resorts while Grandpa quietly refinanced part of his retirement portfolio. I noticed. Nobody else seemed to care. The third incident hurt the most. When Grandpa suffered a minor stroke, I drove him to appointments every week for almost 7 months. Rebecca visited twice. Yet at family gatherings, she constantly told people she was his primary support system. Everyone believed her, including my parents. I swallowed my frustration. Again, because arguing never changed anything. Around that time, my work introduced me to a respected probate attorney named Samuel Pierce. We collaborated occasionally when estates involved disputed valuations. Samuel was meticulous, patient, and impossible to fool. At the time, he was simply a professional contact. Nothing more. But that connection would eventually change everything. Then Grandpa died. The funeral drew more than 200 people. Business partners. Friends, neighbors, family members. Everyone praised his integrity. Everyone spoke about fairness. I remember thinking how strange those speeches would sound a few weeks later. The reading of the estate happened 21 days afterward. Grandpa's assets totaled approximately $2. $4 million. The largest asset was a lakefront property valued at $890,000. There were investment accounts, savings, collectibles, several antique vehicles, and one surprise. According to the will presented that day, nearly 80% of the estate had been left to Rebecca. I received less than $70,000. The room fell silent. Even Rebecca looked shocked for a moment. Then she smiled. A very different kind of smile. My parents exchanged confused looks. Several relatives whispered among themselves. I reviewed the documents carefully. Something felt wrong. Not emotionally wrong, professionally wrong. The signatures appeared unusual. Formatting differed from documents Grandpa normally used. Certain valuation references were outdated. Small details. But details mattered. The meeting ended. Most people left. Rebecca stayed behind. So did a court clerk named Angela Torres. That detail would matter later. Rebecca approached me near the parking lot. She didn't even try to hide her satisfaction. "You finally know your place," she said. I stared at her. She laughed, then delivered the sentence I would never forget. "Grandpa corrected a lifelong mistake. You were never family. You were just tolerated." Angela was walking nearby. She heard every word. Rebecca didn't care. My chest tightened. Not from anger. From clarity. That was the moment I stopped asking for fairness. I stopped asking why people believed her. I stopped hoping the truth would reveal itself naturally, because sometimes truth needs help. I drove home, sat quietly at my kitchen table, and made one decision. I would examine every page connected to Grandpa's estate. Every single page. The next morning, I called Samuel Pierce. Not my lawyer, Rebecca's lawyer. At least that's what everyone believed. Samuel had drafted portions of the estate package. I requested a professional consultation. He agreed. When we met, I brought copies of prior estate documents Grandpa had asked me to store years earlier. Samuel reviewed them carefully, then reviewed the current will. His expression changed, only slightly. But I noticed. That was enough. For the first time, I felt something shifting. The plan began there. First, I obtained certified copies of every estate filing connected to Grandpa during the previous 5 years. Then I compared signatures, formatting, witness records, notarizations, everything. The discrepancies multiplied. Next, I reviewed property transfers and account authorizations. Several amendments had occurred during a period when Grandpa was recovering from medical complications. Interesting timing. Very interesting. Finally, Samuel connected me with an independent handwriting expert and a forensic document examiner. Both reached similar conclusions. Certain portions of the newest will require deeper investigation. Nothing was proven yet. But questions existed, serious questions. Meanwhile, Rebecca remained completely unaware. She celebrated constantly. She hosted parties at the lake house, posted photos online, spoke openly about selling assets. She even bragged about future renovations. One afternoon, she called me. Her voice practically sparkled with arrogance. "Have you accepted reality yet?" "I've accepted the paperwork," I replied calmly. She laughed. "Good, because fighting me would be embarrassing." I almost smiled. The trap wasn't hidden. It was simply moving through legal channels she never bothered to notice. Over the next 2 months, investigators uncovered additional problems. Witness statements didn't align. Document timestamps conflicted. One signature appeared to have been executed weeks after a medical event that should have made signing impossible. Questions became inquiries. Inquiries became formal reviews. Still, Rebecca had no idea. Then came the annual Lawson Family Foundation banquet. Nearly 300 attendees, business leaders, community figures, extended relatives. Rebecca was scheduled to announce a charitable initiative funded through her inheritance. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. The ballroom glittered with crystal lights. Champagne flowed freely. People applauded as Rebecca took the stage. She looked radiant, confident, untouchable. My parents sat near the front. Angela Torres attended as a guest of one of the foundation directors. Samuel stood near the back. Everyone important was present. Rebecca began her speech. For 10 minutes, she talked about legacy, responsibility, family values. The irony was overwhelming. Then she spotted me. Her smile sharpened. "I believe success comes from earning trust," she said into the microphone. Several guests nodded. Rebecca continued. "Some people spend their lives expecting rewards they never earned." A few heads turned toward me. She wanted an audience. She got one. Just not the audience she expected. The ballroom doors opened. 3 individuals entered. A probate investigator, a court representative, and Samuel. Conversation stopped immediately. Rebecca's expression changed. Confusion first, then concern. The foundation director approached the stage. Whispers spread rapidly. Documents changed hands. Questions followed. Then came the announcement. A formal challenge had been filed regarding the inheritance. Evidence suggested significant irregularities involving the final will. The room froze. Rebecca laughed nervously. "This is ridiculous." Nobody responded. The investigator continued. Several supporting documents were under review. Witness testimony conflicted with official records. Certain signatures required authentication. Then Angela stepped forward. She calmly explained what she had witnessed after the estate reading. Rebecca's comments, her behavior, her certainty before official distributions had even begun. The details mattered. Every piece mattered. Rebecca's confidence evaporated. Shock came first, then denial, then anger. She accused everyone, me, Samuel, the investigators. Even Grandpa. The outburst only made things worse, because facts were already speaking. Within weeks, the court issued its ruling. The contested will was invalidated. An earlier verified version became controlling. That version divided Grandpa's estate equally among designated heirs. Rebecca lost control of approximately $1.1 million in assets she had expected to keep. Additional legal fees exceeded $140,000. The lakefront property was ordered sold. Several transactions she initiated were reversed. The ruling became public record. Newspapers covered it. Business associates noticed. Relatives finally saw what had happened. For the first time in years, nobody defended her. My parents attended the final hearing. So did most of the family. They watched evidence presented. They watched the ruling delivered, and they watched Rebecca realize she could no longer talk her way out of reality. I said almost nothing. No speech. No celebration. No victory lap. When the hearing ended, I gathered my documents and left. Silence accomplished more than any argument ever could. 6 months later, life felt remarkably different. My share of the estate allowed me to purchase a quiet home overlooking a river outside Portland. Nothing extravagant, just peaceful, the kind of place where mornings began with sunlight reflecting across the water instead of family drama. My firm promoted me to senior partner in estate valuation services. The work remained demanding, but it felt meaningful. Also met someone who valued honesty more than appearances. That relationship grew, slowly, steadily, without competition, without manipulation. As for Rebecca, the consequences continued. Her reputation suffered significantly within professional and social circles, and several former supporters quietly distanced themselves from her. My parents eventually apologized, not because they suddenly became different people, because evidence finally forced them to confront years of favoritism. I accepted their words, but I kept healthy boundaries. Some lessons arrived too late to rebuild what was lost. Looking back, the inheritance itself wasn't the most valuable thing Grandpa left behind. The money helped. The property mattered. But neither changed. My life as much as the truth did. Because the moment I stopped fighting for validation from people determined to misunderstand me, I discovered something far more valuable than any estate. I finally understood that self-worth isn't inherited from family. It grows the day you stop asking others to measure your value and start recognizing it yourself.